Hello everybody. I am keeping my promise and coming in here weekly with lives and information all about pelvic health. You can join me, you can ask me your questions, tell me what you want to know more about, and if I don't have answers, one, I won't pretend that I do, and two, I can find answers because I have so many amazing resources. So I wanted to do this yesterday, but I've been recovering from a cold, and so that got sidelined. So here I am, and today I'm going to talk about the power of the breath when it comes to your overall health, but in relation to pelvic wellness. Your breath is probably the most powerful tool you have for healing of any kind. Okay, we take about 27,000 to 30,000 breaths a day. And can you tell me how many of those breaths you're actually aware of? Right? Probably not many. It's because the breath is part of our autonomic nervous system. It just works for us automatically. We don't have to tell it to work for us. But it is the only part of the autonomic system that we can mindfully be aware of and control, which can help control other parts of our body. When we tap into our breath, which is literally our life force. In yoga, we know it as prana. Prana means life force. Our breath taps into our nervous system. The breath, the oxygen in our lungs literally purifies the blood in our bodies. And it also helps us tap into that parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve, which innervates all of our organs and goes all the way down to the cervix. So there are so many ways we can utilize our breath in powerful ways for different scenarios. But since we're talking about the breath and the pelvic floor, let's look at the respiratory diaphragm, for example. So the respiratory diaphragm is a muscle that we use to breathe, and it lives right up here under our lungs in our low rib cage. Now, most of us, we get caught in shallow breathing, right? So we can breathe into our chest, and we get caught here, and our neck and our shoulders get tight. Hi, Krista. And we get caught in just our busy lives, our busy modern lives, and we're not thinking about our breath. And if we're stressed or anxious, this also keeps our breath really shallow. And so instead of using our respiratory diaphragm muscle, we're using our head, our neck, and our shoulders, not really our head, our neck and our shoulders, these little muscles here and our shoulders to breathe for us. So we're not using our respiratory diaphragm to its benefit. And there's so many benefits to using this muscle. Just like any other muscle, it needs to be exercised. So our respiratory diaphragm, it connects to these low ribs, and it also connects to our spine and our low vertebra. And if you have low back problems, breathing with using your respiratory diaphragm can help those back problems go away. So as you inhale, can you relax the shoulders? Relax the jaw. And as you inhale, imagine this dome expanding like an umbrella. You can feel it expanding wide into the rib cage and pressing down into the organs. This is like a massage for the organs. It's good for the organs to get moved around in that fascia and connective tissue. As that respiratory diaphragm expands and moves down, it massages all those connections of tissues along the lumbar spine and the low back, and as well as helps open up the rib cage. Now, if you're trying this right now and you're like, I don't feel an opening, I just feel, it feels kind of stuck, that can be normal if you're not used to doing this. So practice. So you can put your hands on your low ribs, or you can grab a belt or a scarf and wrap it around your low ribs. And as you breathe in 360 degrees. Try to keep the shoulders soft. If your shoulders are used to doing your breathing for you, then they're going to try to continue to do your breathing. So really try to send the breath and expand wide. And if you're having trouble use your imagination. Imagine a balloon inflating and inflating the rib cage, even if you don't feel anything, because our imagination can help our brain connect to the muscles and make these neurological connections for these things to happen faster. So that's one way. And this abdominal pressure system can really help us heal from diastasis, which is that separating of the abdominal muscles in the front. Hi, Mackenzie. That's my sister, y'all. And where was I? And so how does the pelvic floor come into play in all of this? So our pelvic floor is actually a pelvic diaphragm. There's no floor in the body. So whenever our respiratory diaphragm opens up and expands in the inhale, our pelvic diaphragm moves with it in tandem, at least in an optimal scenario. So sometimes we need to remind or retrain our body to work together as a system, because maybe it's been fragmented over time from different injuries or traumas, or just getting stuck in different kinds of patterns. And that's okay. We're human, that happens. So what we can do is visualize. So I like to imagine jellyfish, like jellyfish undulating together. And if you imagine the pelvic floor, as you breathe in, there's a diamond. There's your pubic bone, your two sit bones, and then your tailbone. So it's this beautiful diamond shape. And if you imagine breathing in all the way down to your pelvic floor, to that diamond shape, and that inhale is expanding it like a trampoline. And as you exhale, it gently domes back up into place, supporting all your pelvic organs. So try this a couple of times. As you inhale, expand wide. Imagine this deepening and widening. It's moving all the way down. Feel that expansion in the diamond of your pelvic floor. And exhale. Everything comes back into place without any effort on your part. I hope that this was insightful and helpful. And one practical way that you can move forward with this is maybe setting a timer or something like habit stacking. So maybe every morning you pick a habit that you already have in place, and maybe that's eating breakfast. So before or after, maybe while you're waiting for your toast in the oven or whatever, you take 5 deep breaths and you visualize your respiratory diaphragm, your pelvic diaphragm moving together with these nice deep breaths, and it's relaxing. And you're trying to keep your shoulders soft so your shoulders aren't doing the breathing for you. And you can do this one time a day is great because it's better than nothing. If you want to do this multiple times a day, then stack it with another habit, maybe after you eat lunch or before you go to bed. So anytime you think about it, and the more you practice and help bring your awareness around, the more you can do this. And I know that this will be a game changer, not only for your pelvic health, but for your overall health. Because like I said, your breath is one of the most powerful tools that you can utilize for your own well-being. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you try this and how it goes. Anyway, I will see you next week for my next live. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. Thanks for coming.